Hello everyone and welcome back to another book review. Today I am going to be reviewing Imaginary Museums by Nicolette Polek. This is a very short volume I pulled off the shelf just because it looked interesting and I figured I wasn't going to be committing that much if I wound up not liking it. And I took it home and gave it a read. So this, as described on the back of the book, is compact fictions. These are incredibly short stories. These are not short stories. These are incredibly short stories. I think the longest ones are maybe 2 pages. So here's one, Co-ed Picnic, and it is this long, and then you start the next story. And these don't really feel all that related. They are just little tiny fragments of people's lives, just very small snippets of life. Some of it feels a little fantastical, but yeah, it's just very short looks into people's lives. I really enjoyed this book. I gave it a 4-star review and I really enjoyed the format of it, how short it is. I feel like when you're writing something that short, you don't really have any room to make mistakes or errors, and you really have to be very particular with the words you choose because every word counts if you're trying to make it so short that it fits into maximum 2 or 3 pages. So even though they're very little glimpses, the 2 or 3 pages that you're going to get is very focused, and you get a very detailed view into someone's life for that little short second that you're seeing it, which I really enjoyed. Obviously, when you have something like this, which is filled with lots of short stories, some you're going to connect with better than others. Some I just straight up didn't understand, which is maybe to be expected with something in the format of this. Some of them I really enjoyed. My favorite one was The Dance, which is a story or a little snippet of a married couple that both are trying to make the other person happy, but in turn not making themselves happy. I actually read it a second time after I read it, you know, for a whole 45 seconds it took me to read it, and I really enjoyed that one. I thought it was really good, but there were a lot of other good ones in here, and they were divided into different sections. So you'd get miniature catastrophes, American interiors, Slovak scenes, and library of lost things. Those were kind of the 4 sections that the author divided her stories into. And I just had a really good time reading these. I really enjoyed them. Thought they were really well done, high quality, which makes sense. You can't really cut corners when your story is 4 paragraphs. Any corners you cut are going to be very obvious. So I think it requires a level of skill to write something this short that's still very interesting and holds your attention through all of the stories. It's hard to review any stories in here in detail just because of the format of it, because the moment you start talking about something, you kind of give something away. For example, even in the review of The Dance that I just talked about, I've already given away a lot of the aspects of the story. So part of the fun is just figuring out what's going on. By the time you figure out what's going on, you're already halfway through the story, you're almost done, and maybe you get to the end, you don't even know what happened in the first place. I think they're very interesting. I would recommend getting a copy of this book. See if your library has it, purchase a copy. It says here on the back it's $15.95. It's probably worth it. I would read this a second time. And I think it's probably the kind of book that if you read a second time, each of the stories might give you something new, even though they're so short that it's not like you might skip details the first time. I don't know how to explain it. They're just high quality stories and I really enjoyed them. So I think you should give them a read if you have not already. If you have read this, please let me know which one your favorite one was. I just really find it really interesting. And I also always wonder in these sort of books if the author has a favorite, if the author thinks some of these are better than others, some of these are stronger than others, or if the author really enjoys 1 or 2 more than any of the other ones. So that's always something I think about when I read these. The front, all these items are things that well, a lot of these things, I recognize a number of these things as being from the stories themselves, which is kind of an interesting touch. And it is almost kind of like there's this whole backstory that you don't know, and then we just see one little snippet of the life with the object that is kind of filled in, as opposed to these dotted pillars, which you kind of have to construct from the very little information that you're given in the story. So yeah, I gave this one a 4-star review. I would recommend giving it a read. I really enjoyed it. It was a really pleasant way to pass a sunny Sunday afternoon. If you read it, I hope you enjoy it as much as I do. Other than that, everyone, I hope you have a really great day. Thank you.